Mastery of the world is achieved by letting things take their natural course. You cannot master the world by changing the natural way. Mastery of the world is achieved by letting things take their natural course. You cannot master the world by changing the natural way. Lao Tzu. Acceptance. When we don't accept the undesired events in our lives, life itself turns into resentment and anger. When we accept life as it is, life turns into a gift. Life turns into an uninterrupted flow of gratitude. Thomas Merton says, we thank Him less by words than by the serene happiness of silent acceptance. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Ramakrishna Monastery. With these words, I'm introducing the topic. The topic is total acceptance. I don't know if this resonates with you, but there are many things in life where we have no other way, and we just need to make a decision. Simply accept it. We've been honoring Mother the last few days. I don't know if you're familiar with Mother Durga. There is a Hindu festival that's been taking place in India and in all the places where we practice this ritual. Yesterday it took place in Santa Barbara. Well, I don't know if some of you were present. But it's a beautiful ritual, very ancient, where we superimpose God in the form of Mother to a symbol. And it's worshipped for a few days, and then it comes back to the worshipper. Acceptance is one of the most fundamental secrets in life. Did you know that? It's one of the most fundamental secrets in life. There is an unlimited power in what we call acceptance. Life perfection abides in the acceptance of taking life for what it is, imperfectly perfect. Life perfection relies upon accepting its imperfection. Yes. We were all there saying, this cannot be happening to me. Why? I've been so good. Life perfection expresses itself once when we accept and confront our need, our intrinsic need for it to be perfect. Life perfection relies upon the fact of acceptance. It's only when we accept, when we see life is just perfect. Acceptance of the facts of life. Bold we must be. Where there is good, there is bad. Where there is light, there is darkness. Where there is joy, there is sorrow. In the words of Swami Dhyanayogananda, one of our teachers, I love it, so I have to read it to you. The world is simply a statement of facts as they exist. The world is simply a statement of facts as they exist. That the very basis of our being, that the very basis of our being is a contradiction. That everywhere we have to move through this tremendous contradiction. That wherever there is good, there must be also evil. And wherever there is evil, there must be some good. Wherever there is life, death must follow as its shadow. And everyone who smiles will have to weep, and vice versa. I told you, you have to be strong and bold, because this is life. That perfect heaven, that perfect place, I'm sorry you guys, it's just a fantasy. Whatever you have one, you have the other. You cannot have just that good. There is both. Well, there is a secret. We'll go there. We need to understand the very nature of things. The very nature of things. Again, he says, for the conditions will remain the same. Wherever there is the power of producing a smile in us, there lurks the power of producing tears. Wherever there is the power of producing happiness, there lurks somewhere the power of making us miserable. Not that we are calling it, it's just what it is. It's good to know, so it doesn't take us by surprise. Life's journey is filled with unexpected twists and turns, often challenging our plans and expectations. Life's journey is marked by both victories and setbacks, joys and sorrows. Some experiences weigh on us like a heavy cross that's almost impossible to bear. Others shock us to the point of paralyzing us, leaving us with an immense amount of pain for us to process. Have you ever been there? Many people either fight or stick their heads in the sand and never come to terms with how things are. There is only one way to move forward. We should be able to navigate the waters of life with grace and resilience. And the only way to do this is by accepting the facts of life and move on. But we need to understand that this acceptance is far from resignation. Don't get me wrong. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It involves acknowledging the reality of a situation without succumbing to self-pity and despair. Acceptance does not mean that we passively endure suffering. Rather, it empowers us to take action and seek solutions with dignity. This acceptance enables a liberating force that empowers us to confront our present with grace and responsibility. We know very little. We don't get access to the whole picture. We tend to pass judgment over the unfortunate events in our lives. What do we know? Life is neither good nor bad. One thing I'm certain, When we start judging, oh, my good luck, more my bad luck, that is just a fantasy. There is neither good nor bad. It is what it is. It happens. It happened for a reason. We'll go there. Acceptance is not about removing negativity. Sometimes people get it wrong. Acceptance is not about removing negativity, but the capacity, the ability to embrace the challenges of life as it is. Because, I don't know if you know, if you figured this out already, life is just a bundle of challenges. Every day is a new challenge. And it's good. It has to be that way. Otherwise, it's boring. Therefore, acceptance is inevitable. We have no choice. We have to move on. It's futile to resist. When things happen, the only thing before us is the here and now. I've been visiting hospitals lately. Something very unfortunate happened to somebody very loved to me, very close to me. And it shook me a little bit, a lot. Actually, I was shocked. I was shocked because I just couldn't believe that was happening. It was like a movie. I was like, please wake me up. This must be a dream. I heard so many stories, so many tragedies, and I don't mean to present to you something negative. It's not like that. Let's just take the goodness out of it. I've been listening to all these stories, and some of them were very, very moving. To the point like you were just like in shock, like, oh my God, you also. I heard the story of a young woman in her early 30s who suddenly had a hemorrhage, stroke, that left her paralyzed, unable to speak. She couldn't even formulate a sentence. Now you have to understand, this woman was at the peak of her career. She was modeling, she was in movies, in TV shows. Suddenly, a stroke. She actually told me this story herself. Suddenly all her dreams were shattered. She couldn't stop crying. She couldn't understand what had happened to her. She was upset. Why me? Why at this moment? Finally, she was seen by a professional, a psychologist, who she told me wasn't very nice to her, but the words this person said actually worked like magic. Stop tormenting you for something you had no control upon. Stop tormenting you for something you had no control upon. Stop tormenting you for something you couldn't prevent from happening. Have you considered the possibility of accepting all this? That was the moment when she decided to stop crying and start focusing and working on her recovery. This woman made a TED talk and shared her story. It's online. She fully recovered. She can walk, she can talk. Clearly, there is some kind of magic in acceptance where we regain all our strength and see nothing but recovery or get to a better place. By accepting life as it is, we free ourselves from the burden of negative emotions that can hinder our progress. And we must recognize its possibilities that come to us in the present moment and embrace them with courage, faith, and hope. As a result, acceptance plays a crucial role in fostering resilience and finding solutions. The thing is, we have no choice. We have to do it. We come to life to fight. We are fighters. Acceptance helps us rediscover a sense of appreciation for the simple joys in life which we couldn't see before. The beauty of life. Acceptance can foster a sense of gratitude and contentment. Gratitude helps us to focus on what we have rather than dwelling on what we lack. When we appreciate the good things in our lives, regardless of challenges, we cultivate a positive mindset that can improve our overall well-being. How do we do this? You might say, well, I guess just a matter of decision. Yes, indeed. We have our willpower. But then again, we can't resent anybody. Not even my fate. We have to be clear. We cannot harbor resentments. Therefore, the understanding of what I shared with you at the beginning is very important. Life is just a statement of facts as they are. A journey of 3,000 miles begins with one step. Try to reshape a thing, and you will deface it, spoil it. Try to control it, and you will lose it. The wise, accepting things as they are, deface or spoils nothing. Lao Tzu. So I guess the question is, how do we become wise people? Because it's easy to say, right? But he says, the wise, accepting things as they are. So, because it was a very direct experience, as I shared with you before, I decided to share with you my thoughts on this. And there is this concept out there of total acceptance, embraced by many philosophical and spiritual traditions, which entails embracing all aspects of oneself and the world without judgment and without resistance. Is it clear? Without judgment. Don't do it. And resistance. Let it be. When it comes to total acceptance, there are a few areas we need to consider. I don't have the time to discuss all of them, but I will have to mention them. Acceptance of oneself is one, with all our shortcomings and the decision we make to become better human beings with commitment and responsibility. Acceptance of oneself. By letting go and get past the things we have been resisting for so long. The past. Sometimes we have to acknowledge the stuff that's excruciatingly painful in our lives. Things like parental abuse, characteristics about myself that I hate, the fact that we are suffering an illness, perhaps a fatal one, or crimes that we have committed in the past, and the guilt that comes from that. Past. Acceptance of oneself. Number 2, acceptance of others and their limitations. Understanding that whatever happens to me happens to others as well. I cannot pass judgment. Better to see my own shortcomings. Be compassionate. Number 3, acceptance of life's challenges. It's vital to make the Stoic distinction between the things that are up to us and the things that we cannot control. We can't change the past, and we have no certainties about the future. Yet, there is something that we have. What is it? Yes. And we can shape our future. Interesting. And number 4, and this is something that in Vedanta we propose a lot. Many of you will say, okay, Swami, here you go again. The acceptance of God. The acceptance of the ultimate engineer, the one in charge, the one responsible for all these laws, crazy laws, that keep us in a frying pan, in hot oil dancing. Who is responsible for all this? Have you ever asked yourself? Well, there must be one. For everything we see, there is somebody who was responsible for it. So somebody must be responsible for all these laws and this so-called perfection. I'm going to focus on life as a challenge, accepting life as a challenge. I share with you my experience with one of my family members. And I was surprised, because a few people very known to me and who are devotees or in the spiritual world, they actually said, "Oh, Swami, what a test." I was like, yeah, what a test. What a test. And then again, what a test. It must be for you. A test of what? I don't think it's a test. I don't take it as a test. What? You're talking about my faith? My faith is intact. It's not about faith. It's about being strong enough to accept my fate. So the concept of God came to me. Why do you have to blame this on God? What is his business? I will explain. He is just the one in charge of the laws. And then again, I'm going to put another example. Suppose suddenly we get infected by a disease. What happens to us in our case? No, our emotional energy gets dissipated, gets affected, and resenting what has happened to us, and all our negative emotions immediately, work on us and keep us kind of crippled. Oh, poor me. We think we are letting ourselves be victimized, traumatized, walked over or preyed upon. All these are definitely undesirable things. Such emotions, my friends, are characteristics of a mind afflicted by ignorance. And don't take it personally, because we're all there. And sometimes we come back to that again. Oh, poor me. But ignorance is not a bad word. In fact, we need to understand that we are in ignorance. That's the first step to open ourselves to knowledge. That is what Vedanta says. The only solution is knowledge. With grace, we accept what we can't change. And with grit, we strive to change what we can. That's the attitude. With grit. With such a spiritual grace and grit, we free our emotional energy to face the situation better and grow through all those situations to a better place. In Vedanta, what we call acceptance, we use the word. Maybe it's a little bit devotional, but I like it. And I hope that many of you also can like it too. Acceptance means surrender. I also like Lao Tzu, But all this wisdom is also in our scriptures. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse number 62, Lord Krishna, he says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam. What is that? Sharanam gaccha. Surrender. Surrender to Him alone with your whole heart, O Arjuna. By His grace, you will gain absolute peace, which is the eternal abode. You will get that eternal peace. That's all we want, you guys. All we want in our lives is nothing but peace. All the time. With that ice cream that you suddenly feel like having, you want peace. Peace, peace, peace. But here is not relative peace. He says absolute peace. There is a difference. And another key word here is with your whole heart. Surrender. So, I like this verse. There are many verses in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is constantly encouraging Arjuna, surrender, 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 understand. There is no other way. Right? But I like this one because it also deals with our actions. And it also gives me the opportunity, and it's not a justification, but in Vedanta, it's important that we have ways to understand or means to understand something that it's really difficult. Because we know very little, as I said before. The Hindus call it karma. And I'm not trying to simplify things and say, hey, that's karma, the usual, right? No. But you have to give it to them. It's interesting the way things are explained by the law of karma and dharma. Usually we think we are in charge of our lives, but unfortunately to some extent. We could be in charge of our present moment, of our actions, our thoughts, our attitude, but there is nothing what we can do for what we have already done, for what we already did. And we don't get to see. In our life, we miss the fact that all we have, our bodies, everything is just nothing but a gift given to us. Even the ego that feels in charge. Oh, me, a gift to me? Yes, that ego also is also a gift. The I sense, the body, the senses through which we experience this world, this beautiful world, is a gift. If we follow our thoughts, we become our thoughts. If we feel like giving up, you will give up. If you feel like doing something, you will do something. The fact is, either way, life will come to an end. So you better do something. Because we have to live. And stop for a moment. See the beauty of all these colors around us. The perfection in plants, flowers, aromas. It's just so perfect. Everything is given to us. The question is, by who? By the one in charge. So Vedanta says this. In a very Advaitic way, we talk about that. When we try to, come down to our level, we call it the Lord, God. That person, if we may use that word, is in charge. In charge of what? Of all the laws that we are subject to. All the laws we are subject to. And in those laws is also our prarabdha karma. Wait, what was that? Prarabdha karma. I know, it's just a term. Prarabdha karma, I'm going to have to explain a little bit. What is prarabdha karma, Swami? Well, for all our actions, cause and effect, this gets accumulated. Goodness and the opposite. Goodness means dharma, all the things that we do for ourselves and for others, where the center is God, that is what is right, doing what is right for me and for others. And its opposite, adharma. That creates karma. The law of karma includes all these moral laws. Dharma is acting and behaving in life in tune with the truth. What is the truth? Whatever I want for me, I have to share or give it to others. That is the truth. The law of karma centers on our free will. Is centered in our free will. And prarabdha karma happens. What is prarabdha karma? Well, this good and bad is divided into three types of karma. Samchita karma, which is the accumulated karma. And this is information, okay? I mean, it's important because I like to discuss the use of this information. How can we use it for our benefit? Sanchita karma is the accumulated karma from our previous lives. Sanchita itself means accumulated. It will not affect you in this life. This kind of karma will not fructify in this life. It's just in our bank account somewhere. Could be good or bad. Then we have the prarabdha karma. Of all the accumulated karma, a portion is ready for fruition. And this is our life. The released arrow is what we call prarabdha karma. It's what we are living. We are already rolling. It's a mature karma. And it's responsible for our current life. The cause, we don't know. But it's what brought us here, in these bodies, in these families, and all the circumstances around you. Then there is a third one that is called the expected karma or agami karma. That is the current life. Because we keep producing karma, whether we like it or not. So we better be good. And that karma will take place or fructify in this very life, and some of it will go to our bank account. Is it clear? Simple. So what we are living is what we call prarabdha karma. And many things are already written. The moment when we, hello, you there? No, I'm not here. Death will come. That is already determined. Are there things we can change? Yes. We'll talk about that later. What are the benefits of accepting or assimilating this Vedantic law of karma? What are the benefits? Why? Why are you talking about that? Well, because with this, somehow, kind of like in a logical way, we get an explanation. It explains the disparities, the inconsistencies, the so-called unfairness in everyone's life. It does. Because who is responsible? Me and me alone. It's not why me, it was you. You just did the wrong thing. You went against the law. I mean, what is the law? When we center too much on ourselves and our bodies, when we center our lives in me and mine without caring for others, that's not good. That's going against the law. It also allows healthy acceptance for all the sorrows we experience in our lives. Healthy, because, it's okay. I take it. Let's move on. No resentments. It keeps our faith in that ultimate truth, the one responsible, strong. It keeps our faith in God strong. And we can take responsibility in the present to produce a better future. Also, this allows us to regain the confidence that we need, the confidence that is centered in living an ethical and a moral life. For this, either you follow one philosophy or another, you have to accept the ultimate, the totality. And here we call it God, or the Lord. He, we call him He, has to be recognized in the form of a law of karma. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, surrender with your whole heart, not just partially, your whole heart. Give me all your emotions, because most of our problems are emotional problems. When it comes to our emotional constitution, we are very immature. Immediately we react, we start passing judgment, start crying. It's okay. But we are here to get stronger. It takes the pressure out of ourselves when we relate to something higher than us. Who's responsible for these laws? If you take the help of the ultimate truth, the Lord, God, in Sanskrit we call him Ishvara, you do not blame yourself. You stop blaming yourself or your fate and allow yourself to let go of the past and get into the flow of situations as they unfold themselves day by day. Every day is a new day. Every day, as I said before, is a new challenge. Today is in a particular form, and tomorrow it will be different. Thank God it's different. Otherwise, it'll be boring. And that's truly what makes life interesting. Every day is kind of like a bundle of surprises. What was that? A box of chocolates. So beautiful. If you let go your past and do not think that you are in charge of everything, but the Lord in the form of your prarabdha karma, you get into the flow of events and do what you must do. The relief is huge. Emotionally, we need to do this. Not purely rationally, emotionally, with our whole hearts. That emotional acceptance is indicated here in this verse. Sarva bhavena, meaning with your whole heart. May we accept the Lord as the one in charge with our whole heart. And then the Lord says, if you do this, you'll get something really good, which is absolute peace. And that comes progressively with the purification of your mind. As you learn to accept, as you learn to surrender, your mind starts changing. And you see life with different eyes. As if all of a sudden you're positive, you're happy. By nature, a dry leaf is surrendered to the wind. It does not complain whether the wind lifts it up, takes it forward or backward, or drops it on the ground. Similarly, we too must learn to be happy in the flow of life, maintaining an attitude and gratitude towards the Lord. We have received so many priceless gifts. The earth we walk upon, the sunlight with which we see, the air we breathe, the birds chirping this morning, beautiful. That was my experience. And the water that we drink, it's all a gift. Because He exists, we exist. Life is a gift in the form of challenges. They are neither good nor bad, but opportunities to evolve and learn from experience. That's how we get strong. Acceptance is a very powerful force. Acceptance is one of the most fundamental secrets in life. We have to let things take their natural way. We thank Him less by words than by the serene happiness of silent acceptance. Thomas Merton. Thank you.